Hello everyone, welcome back to Extra Roly, and I'm joined again with the fabulous, gorgeous, stunning Calum.
Oh, it's me. Look how fabulous my legs are.
Oh.
I've been really blessed with beautiful legs.
Well, you also live your life walking around everywhere, so you will have naturally nice legs.
I do. In Brazil Pride, I did 42,000 steps in one day.
Did you? Jesus Christ. I did less than that, and I was at a festival just jumping all day. Jesus Christ. With the gay Pride final boss people.
The gay Pride final boss, which actually brings us on to the topic of today's video.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk about Pride.
We're going to talk about Pride today, and, you know, just everything that involves Pride. Do we still want it? Do we still like it? Do we still need it? Do we still gape? I don't know. What's your...
just anything happens on this channel. We just adjust the camera mid-sentence.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I mean, this is all about the audio. This is why we've got microphones right next to our face, so people can see it, watch it, or they can just listen.
Oh, is it almost like an ASMR video?
No, we've just basically, unintentionally made a very broken down podcast.
Welcome to the Deconstructed Podcast.
Yeah, podcast?
Podcast.
Oh, she's very
Listen,
crass.
It's been a long month.
It's been a long...
Pride month
It's
was
been a
hot.
long... Oh, so you do miss home.
It's been a long day.
My auntie found crying and shaking. First of all, hello everyone, welcome to the channel. If you don't know who I am, my name is Roly. I'm a YouTuber here on the Intertwage, but this is my second channel where we do less edited, more talky stuff, and just chill out.
Yeah, and I don't live here, I'm a guest.
Yes, this is my busy mate Calum. We lived together for 10 years. He now travels the world because he decided that living with me was worse than drinking bleach.
But I still come to visit.
Yes, and Sonic is loving your shoulder. He's like, oh yeah, daddy. And on that note, femboys of Pride, how do you want to start this? Do you want to go first? What do you want to say first?
We're going to go controversial from the off.
Oh, Jesus.
I am going to prides all over the world. That's basically my job.
Yep.
I do LGBT travel, so I visit all the prides, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I very much still enjoy prides.
Yeah.
I find it a little tiring sometimes going to all these different prides and trying to experience them to the fullest. But you don't really attend Pride anymore.
No.
So I'm interested to explore why.
Because I hate gay people. The thing is, right, so if you don't know, yeah, I've not really attended a Pride for about 3 years. I kind of stopped going to them. And it wasn't just me. There was a few of my friends who I used to go to. We all just kind of come to a consensus together since 2023, 2022 time that I just don't enjoy them anymore. And I went to my first Pride was 2012, and I came to London for Pride, and it was World Pride here in London 2012, and it was the most eye-opening experience I've ever had in my life because I come from Devon. I lived in a small town. We actually did have a Pride in Exeter, so I'm from Exeter. I live just outside of it, but I was born in Exeter, so any of my Devon people here, and there is actually an Exeter Pride, but I never went to it ever because I was always just I don't know. Not that I wasn't too scared, but I mean, I didn't know any gay people, of course, being there. But also, in my mind, I was Exeter was where I was grown up, and I went to school in Crediton near, and I was bullied horrifically. So the idea of being myself out and proud in a place where I was horrifically bullied felt a bit...
Yeah.
I don't know, I was a bit just felt weird. So going to London for Pride felt like this sort of monumental step in my acceptance of who I was when I was 21. So I went to London Pride, World Pride, and I came here and met a friend. My friend at the time was living in London, but I did spend kind of half the time with him and half the time with online friends that I had from YouTube at that point. And it was wonderful. I had a great time. The parade was crazy. It's actually my very, very first time on YouTube, and I still have the video there where I got recognised in public. And I think he was called John, and he recognised me in the I think it's because I remember it so vividly. He recognised me in the parade, and he was like, "Oh my God, you're Roly and Gasher, aren't you?" And I was like, "What?" Oh my God, yeah, it's crazy. But it's my first time ever getting recognised. It was really exciting. And just over time, as more and more I've gone to Pride, especially London Pride, I actually find London Pride quite boring.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit dull. Nothing really changes every year. We don't... In the UK, unfortunately, I love the UK, but our roads aren't set up for floats. So even in our parades, we get a truck sometimes that has music, but we don't really get anything visually stimulating really. But London Pride heavily is corporate, and I just got a bit fed up with just watching Barclays Bank headline the parade when they're actually a really bad company.
They're transphobic now, openly transphobic.
And they would always headline it, and then there was basically every company imaginable. All the banks would be on parade, and it was just I feel now I'm just watching an advert. I feel like when I'd watched London Parade now, it just became an advert for eBay or, Barclays or different banks or different companies. It was like, am I actually here celebrating being gay, or am I here just being advertised
to
by corporate police? And I'm sure a lot of people here who's been to London, like, I don't know what like Manchester Pride's like or something. I've never been there, so I don't know if that's similar or like, Brighton Pride's a different one we can talk about in a minute, but at least in London, which I've been to 10 times now, that I just think it's one of the reasons why I stopped. I just got fed up with being advertised to the whole time. But also, when I first went to Pride in 2012, you could go to Trafalgar Square easily. There was no caging it off, and you could walk in and out as freely. It wasn't so overcrowded that you couldn't move. Now, the very, very last Pride I went to, which is why I stopped. What's the part where we got to the palace? The part that's literally right next to Pride by Trafalgar Square.
St. James Park. We know the park.
So St. James's Park, so not Green Park, St. James's Park, where just off of Trafalgar Square. It took me and my friend Gary at the time an hour and a half to literally walk from there to Soho, and the gap between that should take you maybe like 10 minutes to walk. It was so and it wasn't because the parade we couldn't get through the parade, it was because it was so overcrowded we could barely move, and I don't enjoy that. I don't enjoy being rammed against people like this, and you're having to like waddle, and then there's like, also, it's the fact that I just don't think it's... Sorry, I just hate London Pride. I think it's so boring. I hate London Pride. I've done it way too many times. It's just fucking boring. Sorry, I don't know why... I just don't like London Pride. And I'm sure maybe some other prides. The thing is, though, we went to Copenhagen Pride in 2016, and, like, it was a very strange experience because no one said anything. Do you remember the parade was like, everyone was really dead? Do you remember?
I'm laughing because like you literally just told me off in our last video for like going on a long rant about Japan, and you've just spoken for 18 minutes without a breath about how much you hate London Pride.
I just hate what it's become. The first one was so exciting. I don't think it was because of my first, but like you could generally just walk around and have fun without being basically trampled.
Yeah.
It's just become so overcrowded now that like I just don't find that fun. I don't find it fun having to push through people to walk a 10-minute distance.
Yeah, so there's like there's so much to be unpacked in what you just said.
Yeah.
But what I want to like start out by saying is that like I think every pride has a bit of a challenge in that you need to find the money to make the pride happen.
Yeah.
Like it's all very well and good saying that like pride should be entirely free and we should just like all be able to go into the streets and be proud.
Yeah.
But like it is the reality is, unless it is literally like a grassroots protest, it is a complicated thing to do. If you're going to like start closing off streets and like putting barriers up and all of that costs money. You need people to do it. You need the money to like close those streets, etc. So every pride has this challenge of funding, which is where the corporate sponsors come in. There are prides still out there that don't have any corporate sponsors, but I think it's something we're seeing more and more and more of. But I think, unfortunately, London Pride are just not succeeding at getting that balance right.
Yeah.
It does feel very heavily corporate, and we're in a really interesting place now where a lot of corporates are now pulling out of supporting Pride. A lot of corporates that were once wanted to slap a rainbow flag on and show how much of an ally they are, a lot of these corporates are now backing out. So it's actually now kind of like strong arming a lot of prides, London Pride included, back into a less corporate place, which in a strange way I actually think is a good thing, because it's bringing us back to a little bit more about being about the community, etc. But like there are so many issues. This video was not intended as be like let's slag off London Pride, but I do find it interesting that I like a lot of international LGBT plus people say to me like, oh, I would love to go to London Pride one day, and it is one of the biggest, if not the biggest in Europe. It is top 3 largest in Europe. It's one of my least favourites, and in the UK it's probably my least favourite. I always tell people if you're going to come to the UK, go to Manchester or Brighton Pride, and I'm not saying either of those are perfect. But I have my gripes with Brighton Pride as well. I think they're considerably better than London Pride. And one of them is to do with what you were saying about the streets being full. I just don't think it is well managed. I'm sure there's reasons for this, but London Pride, as Roly said, the main stage is placed in Trafalgar Square, which is a very small space. It's tiny. To be really hosting the main stage of one of the largest prides in Europe. And that's what ends up with the streets being crammed. Soho gets so busy. You've literally got a huge park
next to Trafalgar Square.
Yeah.
Within literally like a 2-minute distance.
Yeah.
Why is the stage not put there?
And I always say it should be in Hyde Park, because like the original first ever London Pride, they all gathered in Hyde Park before they marched through the streets of London. So it has a significance of LGBT plus history. Plus it's a huge park. They have British Summertime, huge festival there every summer. They have Winter Wonderland at Christmas. Yeah. Why can you not have Pride there? I'm sure there's an answer to that question.
Probably costs more money and they don't want to do it.
But I just think it needs, like, somebody needs to take London, and like, we're not going to get into this in this video because like we don't want to, but like there's been a lot of controversy around London Pride, etc. They've been like heavily criticized for like doing a lot of like bad things over the years, and I just think it just needs a complete like, it just needs like somebody needs to come in and like,
it needs a new company to come in and be like,
fix it.
Yeah, not even a company, just they need to hire new people that know how to make events for those kind of sizes, because obviously you can't help, you know, population growth and all that kind of stuff, but they're still running it as if it's 2012 when it's not. You said about Hyde Park, because now they start at Green Park, don't they, and walk all the way down. Like, even if they did something at Green Park or whatever, or is it, no, they do start Hyde.
Regent's Park.
Like, they could even just reverse the parade and walk up there and have the parade, have like the stage up in that park as well. Like, there's ways you can go around it, but Trafalgar Square is not big enough to host Pride in 2025. There's too many people. Because I haven't been for a couple of years now. You were just there a couple of days ago. I'm assuming it was also rammed.
I actually think this year was, interestingly, it didn't feel that usual discomfort of like being too busy, but I don't think that's because it was being managed better.
Less people, I
just think less people were going. In its defense, it was a very grey and miserable day. Yeah, and I think rainy. A lot of people didn't come out for that reason. Yeah, but also I do wonder if a lot of people like yourself just aren't
become a bit
interested
over it
anymore. Because then there is another discussion, and this isn't about London Pride. This is about Pride in general. I feel like Pride, the majority, overwhelmingly, Pride is for newly out people.
Yeah.
Because it is such a special, important... I'm sure if I just come out of the closet and I went to London Pride now, even now, despite everything I've just said, it would be the most magical day of my life. Yeah. Because being surrounded by your community and seeing everything rainbow and everything being a celebration is so important. And I think this is what like some like homophobic people or just like cis hetero people in general aren't understanding. This like emotional moment you have when you suddenly, oh wow, we're all queer, or we're all queer and allies here, and like it's a really like special and important moment. Yeah. And I think there is that natural, like, as you grow older, and it's not necessarily to do with age, but the more years you're out of the closet, the more comfortable and the more normalized it starts to be. You go to many prides, and that specialness, it's like anything, it's like Christmas becomes less and less special as you age. Yeah. It's kind of the same with Pride as well, that like magic starts to wear off. Yeah, no, I agree. And I find myself in a place now, like obviously I'm getting to travel all over the world for Pride, which in itself makes it new and interesting every time, because you've got like no two countries celebrates in exactly the same. There's a lot of similarities, but there's also like this year I've like skied a pride flag down a ski slope. I've like been at that sound like, so where was that? Alaska? That was Antarctica. In Canada. All the same place. When he went to Canada and he went to it was like a ski slope pride. I would say that is something that I think now, if I was to go to a Pride, you'd be interested. That is something that I would really love to do, because I do love skiing. I think it's actually really fun. So to be able to do that with Pride, I think that would actually be quite fun. And that gave me that same like emotional connection again. There was something about that moment when everybody started going down the hill together in all the rainbow flags flying. They had a giant rainbow flag going down the hill, which was like rippling, like snow coming off it. Like that, I felt they had like a slowed down version of Cher's Believe as that was happening, and like I felt that like, oh, this is like actually hit me like in my emotions, which was really special. So I think like that's what it is, but it's like with anything, you have to keep finding new and exciting ways to keep it interesting, which I'm able to do by travel, but like your average person may not have like access to that. So what I think we're seeing, like if we keep going on about London Pride, but like it was London Pride yesterday, and also because like London Pride is the one that I had the most experience on, of course, and whatever. We both do, obviously. So like what I found really interesting about like London Pride yesterday or over previous years is everybody who's kind of either my age or has been out of the closet for a very long time, they're now going to like more like bigger parties, and each year the parties have to be bigger and they have to be wilder and they have to be more naked and there has to be more people like consuming drugs, and it just has to be like bigger and more exciting. And like I'm sober, I've been 2 years sober, so like I'm just like, I like a party, but I'm not interested in that side of thing. And that feels the way that Pride is going now. It feels like, I saw this thing on TikTok or Instagram, and like it offended me a little bit, but he was also like kind of right. And he's talking about his mother saying like, oh, you're on your way to Pride today, aren't you? Have fun at the parade. And he's saying, I'm not going to a parade, I'm going to go get fucked in a warehouse. And that is what Pride is becoming, especially for people who have been, you know, out and proud for many years now. It's just become turned into this excuse for a wilder and wilder and wilder and wilder party. Yeah,
I don't think I get the same excitement about watching a parade anymore. I feel like
Sadly,
I feel like I just don't. I also think the political climate really affects how you feel about it, because now I don't know, I think like most of us, like especially in the UK, I can't speak for the rest of the world, but like I mean I know in America obviously your rights being quite attacked as well, especially trans people. There's a little part of me that's like, I don't really want to watch a happy parade. I'm a bit too pissed off to do it. And I feel like so it kind of, I'm like, off, like I'd rather go and egg someone.
And I really actually enjoyed, I just did, last weekend I did Trans Pride in San Francisco. I also did Pride in San Francisco, but I thought Trans Pride in San Francisco was really interesting because that was heavily political. And from the beginning of that, and they still had like a giant, beautiful Trans Pride flag, and there was still like people dressed up in beautiful like blue, white and pink outfits, and you got all that, but it very much felt like a protest from start to end. And it went on for a while, and there was people giving like really passionate speeches, people holding their protest signs, people chanting, and that felt very like the community. Not a corporate sponsor in sight. It was all entirely community led. And then when the parade came to like a natural finish, then it turned into like an unofficial street party. And like people were pulling out instruments, and people were pulling out portable speakers, and it became like an unofficial, and then you got this sense of like real unbridled trans joy, which was just so beautiful to see, because it felt a little bit more natural and also like needed right now. Like it almost feels like trans people don't have a right to joy at the moment. So seeing that was beautiful, and like that was one of my favorite Pride moments from this whole year. Before
I get onto my second round, what is your opinion on Brighton Pride?
Brighton Pride I really like. However, I've never actually seen the parade, because when I used to do Brighton Pride, I would come down from London, and because it happens either in the morning or at least earlier in the day.
It was quite early, yeah. When I went there last year, by the time me and Lux got down there, it almost like the parade had always finished. I was like, oh, because I was so used to like London times. I was like, oh, because it happened literally like a couple of weeks after I moved here, so it was really quick.
So yeah, I've never actually made it to the parade, so I can't comment on that side of thing. What I do really like about it is that it feels like it has this duality of, it has the big festival in Preston Park, which is like a music festival type vibe. It's really big, there's loads of space, you can sit on the grass and like have a quiet drink with your friends, or you can go like right up to the main stage and dance and like watch, you know, and they have good acts like Britney Spears I saw one year, and Pet Shop Boys I loved. I know they're not that big, but I loved seeing Pet Shop Boys. And then they have like dance tents, so you can, I love that there's the option, you can fully go hard and party, or you can just have a chill day with your friends. I love that. And then in town they kind of like close it off, and it becomes like a street party, and you've also got the beach there, so there's a lot of people sitting and drinking on the beach, and I love that. My criticism of it, if I was to give one, would just be that I understand it's getting quite expensive for the music festival side of it, and I do believe that Pride should be free or at least cheap and affordable. But then the argument would be, well, you can go and enjoy the street party side of it, and that's free, and the parade is free, so there is a free element to it. So I really like Brighton Pride, but it has been quite a few years since I've done it, and I've not experienced a parade, so it's hard for me to like comment on the whole thing.
So I don't really have too much of an issue with so much the ticketed version of like going to the parade, because going to the park bit, because I'm like, well, if you pay to go in somewhere, it means you don't have to have as much sponsorship, because it like funds it that way. My only issue really with this is and this isn't because it's not my style of music, I don't understand this need to bring, like, this year Mariah Carey is headlining Brighton Pride, and I'm like, why are we giving, because let's be honest, to get Mariah Carey to come down here, it's going to be like $500,000.
A lot of money.
It must be about half.
I don't know, but it's going to be a lot of money.
It's going to be a lot of money to get her down here. When, like, that's not really helping LGBT people. Like, why are you not, like, you could still have an incredible festival with music and people will still go if there's lesser known people there. You could have spent half of that money on actual, like, LGBT artists. Even think of Pet Shop Boys are great because, you know, he's actually, like, gay. Are both of them, or is it just one?
I think they both are.
They both are. Like, people like that as well, because their pricing would have been much lower. I would have loved to come and see Pet Shop Boys. I would have happily paid to come in. Like, I don't understand why we're giving all this fucking money to, like, this American. Yeah, I get she's been a gay icon and all that stuff, but I'm like, this could also go to fund. Like, that money could have been spent on, like, event things, or like even if you've got, like, it sounds stupid to say, like, funfair rights, like actual things that people could have done to still make the festival side of it amazing, but you spend this huge chunk of it on, like, an American artist and not actual LGBT people.
Yeah.
And that's where my biggest annoyance of it comes from. People might get angry about me because stop being so grumpy or whatever, but, like, to me, I want our money to go to LGBT people. They're opening up a gay pride. Why are we giving money to a straight woman?
I literally always say the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm tired of, like, it always seems to be straight white women headlining Pride.
Yeah.
And I know, like, there's the whole, like, gay icon thing, and I do get that to a degree, but, like, we should be putting LGBT people, the literal point of Pride is to celebrate LGBT people, so why are we not putting LGBT people to headline the main stage? And I think people say, like, but there's not enough LGBT artists. I used to present a radio show, and after about half a year of presenting that radio show, it was an LGBT show, so I made the call of we were only going to play music from LGBT artists. And I remember my producer at the time being like, I love the idea, but, like, are we going to struggle to find enough music? No, there is so much. Like, it was even eye-opening to me to realize exactly how many incredible LGBT artists there are. Like, we really can do that. And, like, if you are going to get your big name who isn't an LGBT plus person, at least make sure the rest of the acts that are performing on stage are. Yeah. Because, like, I've been to Prides and it's like, have you got anyone queer performing? Do you have anyone at all? Meanwhile, those queer performers, like, they may not be able to, like, play at, like, your mainstream festivals, etc. And
the thing is, as well, is, like, people can say, well, people won't buy a ticket if, like, Mariah Carey's in there. I'm going to an event soon called 90s Fest, and, like, all the people that I'm going to see were, like, big in the 90s. None of them are, like, majorly famous now, whatever, and the ticket price is exactly the same, and they've completely sold out. Like, you can happily make a festival with people who are not Mariah Carey, all these people who literally will cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars, pounds, whatever, like, and people will come. If I'm going to an event, and there's people like Venga Boys, some of those play at things, and, like, the Venga Boys is, like, money isn't going to be a huge thing to get them to come and play, like, and at least they're still in the LGBT sphere, like, things like that, fine, but I don't know, I just don't understand why you're giving all this money to a specific artist when you could use all of that money to make an incredible thing that doesn't even involve music. You could even have, like, an incredible festival that doesn't center around, like, one specific artist.
And if you are going to have a non-LGBT plus person, especially if they're headlining, they need to go above and beyond to be inclusive of LGBT people and make the show about the queer community. And I'm going to give 2 examples of where I've seen this happen. Yeah. So one of them was this year at World Pride in Washington, D.C. And they had Troye Sivan headlining one night. Great, he's queer. The other night, they had Jennifer Lopez. And at first, I was not happy about Jennifer Lopez headlining, if I'm completely honest. But I felt she redeemed herself because she brought out the local gay men's chorus to sing her final few songs with her. And she did like a George Michael song, who is gay himself. And then behind her on the screen, she had pictures of, like, Sylvia Rivera and Marsha P. Johnson and, like, all these, like, trans icons with, like, quotes from them. So, like, she spanned her performance and made it entirely about the community. Yeah. And I think, like, you have, not that, like, some, like, big headlining, like, they're not going to be watching this video, but, like, that would be my message to Mariah Carey, would be, like, make sure, and maybe she's planning to, make sure you make it about the community. The other example of this I saw was Christina Aguilera at New York Pride. I don't think it was World Pride, I just think it was a regular New York Pride year, and she did a similar thing where she brought out a load of trans people and she made Fighter all about the trans community.
Okay.
And it was so powerful. It was so incredible. Like, it literally took my breath away.
Okay.
And I was like, that is allyship. That's allyship right there. So, like, yeah, like, I think it can be done, but like, you need to include, you need to have LGBT people on the stage with you.
Yeah.
And you need to make it about our community. It shouldn't be about you. This is not, I remember hearing at the year I was at Brighton Pride with Britney Spears, two people got into an altercation, and this straight white girl span around, was like, chill out, you're at a music festival. And the gay was like, not a music festival, this is Pride.
Yeah.
This is Pride. You are not at a music festival.
This is what I'm worried about, like, when they get these huge names, that it's like making it less about Pride and becoming just like, come to the Mariah Carey concert. Because I remember Britney Spears was the first year that it started kicking off, because that was the first time they ticketed it, right? I think Britney Spears, and then it was like, why are we suddenly now making, like, I like Britney Spears, don't get me wrong, but I was a bit like, I kind of agreed the kind of thing, oh, now suddenly it's a ticketed festival to go see Britney Spears.
Yeah.
And it felt a bit like,
and the thing is, though, like, Brighton are quite good at keeping the ticket prices relatively low, considering that how big some of the acts are. But then you have the issue of everyone's just like, wait, we can go and see, I don't know how much it costs, but like, we can go see Britney Spears for 30 quid. Whereas if you went and see her in a stadium, it would be hundreds. So like, it does kind of like, oh, it's suddenly like we're becoming more and more a minority. There's a lot more non-LGBT people coming.
Yeah, when you start bringing in huge celebrities, like I don't think Taylor Swift, but like if Taylor Swift came to Pride, it would just be a Taylor Swift concert. Does that mean? So when you bring people like Mariah Carey, yeah, she might be a gay icon or whatever, but like, there will be a lot of people who don't give a shit about Pride who are going to see Mariah Carey, and that's one of the reasons why I don't like it either.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. It's difficult, though. I will, like, I'm not just here to criticize Pride organizers, especially because it's like a lot of these things are volunteer led.
Yeah.
And it's difficult. You're trying to do a lot of things. There's a lot of people who will like jump on Twitter or whatever to like really yell at Brighton Pride or whatever because they're not perfect and you're not doing this right and you're not doing this right and you're not doing this right. But like, it is a very, very difficult thing to do, and I think sometimes people don't quite appreciate all the moving parts. And
the thing is, if they need to make money to keep it going, why give so much money to one person?
Well,
like, again, you would save so much money. You didn't, like, people would still go if it wasn't Mariah Carey there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't really understand the logic in that, but hey, sure, I don't want it to be a grumpy old bastard. I mean, I am known as the grumpy old man.
Are you?
I'm the grumpy old man of YouTube.
Wait, do people say that?
Yeah, we used to call me all the time.
I say it, yeah, I just didn't know everyone else said it.
And I'm happy to take that crown.
What about, okay, you mentioned earlier then, have you done any prides outside the UK other than Copenhagen?
No.
So tell me your thoughts on Copenhagen.
Well, I enjoyed it because it was different, but I do feel like, I remember all of us being like, the crowd just seemed very quiet. I remember when we were watching the parade, like, everyone was just very quiet. No one was really doing it. And it felt a bit kind of like, I felt like then the Brits on tour, because we were being quite loud, and I was like, it made me feel a bit uncomfortable because the parade, like, everyone was just very quiet. And maybe there was that one time, because it was 2016, like maybe that was just what it was like then or whatever, but I did feel a little bit uncomfortable because everyone was kind of silent in the parade and we were like singing and dancing, and then I was like, oh god, are we being the annoying British people on holiday?
It was just that there were people, there wasn't a lot, if any, music in the parade.
No, it was very quiet.
So it was very, and it is hard. I've been in parades where like I've been walking and we haven't had music, and I feel responsible to make as much noise, and I'll be clacking my fan and running around and jumping and shouting. And I'm introverted. It's hard for me to like put on a show like that. But I feel it's my responsibility to keep that energy high. But you've got to remember, when you're in a pride parade, sometimes you're in it for hours. Yeah. So keeping that energy level up is really hard. It's really difficult. So then I'm like, it's also the crowd's responsibility. Yeah. To give lots of energy and support and love and praise to the people coming by.
But they weren't doing it.
It was really oddly quiet.
Yeah, everyone around.
And again, I'm sure this is cultural, but it was one of, if not the most quiet pride parade we've ever been to.
And I felt really awkward because I'm so hyper aware of not being those annoying, obnoxious British people abroad, which then made me go, oh.
But it felt like I'm not criticizing the people of Copenhagen, but it did feel almost like everyone was being a bit rude.
Yeah, it felt like, rude.
Yeah, the people there,
like, no one was like doing anything. It was like, oh, I don't know if this is. Yeah, very strange.
So yeah, that was an interesting. But like their main stage and stuff, I remember was good. I remember like Alaska.
Yeah, I remember sitting on the stairs on the side watching the actual concert itself.
And that was pretty
fun.
good, and it was completely free, and it was completely there, like right in the middle of the the square,
Yeah.
but it wasn't too crowded. You can come and go. It was a very like celebratory atmosphere.
It felt like as well, even when we were in I remember one thing I did like about it was when we were quite far away from like the main city centre, and like there were pride flags all the way out. Well, we remember the pride flags everywhere. And it was like, it did feel a little bit more sort of like even outskirt places got involved, which looked nice. There was pride flags all the way out where we were staying in our like hotel. Well, it was a house, wasn't it? And we were like half an hour bus ride from the city, and it's like, you're that far, and like everyone still got involved, which I thought was quite nice actually.
I really love cities that do that. I think Amsterdam is an example of a city that Amsterdam Pride I think is one of the best prides in the world. And firstly, they have the parade on canal boats, which is amazing in itself, like seeing it on the water instead of in a road. But the other thing is it's one of those cities where it feels like you can be anywhere in the entire city and you feel like you're at Pride. Another one that does that really well is Sydney Mardi Gras in Australia. That is like you go anywhere in Sydney over the Pride. Well, their Pride goes on for 3 weeks, but anywhere, rainbow flags literally everywhere. And I really, really like that. London does it quite well. I think it could do a little bit more, but London does it quite well with the rainbow coverage.
But I feel like I feel like this year's been very interesting because like you can see the amount of this year's been very eye-opening because we talk about rainbow capitalism and like the corporate brands and stuff. It's funny now how you can just see the companies who are doing it merely to advertise themselves, because so many of them have like not done much this year. And like I like the fact that it's less corporate, but it just goes to show that these people didn't do it because they wanted. Like Barclays, when they're at the front, they didn't do it because they wanted to support Pride. They did just advertise, which is why I got bored of people advertising to me in these parades.
Disingenuous.
Even just like because me and Jamie on his channel, so Jamie Rain's trans YouTuber here. If you don't know who he is, wonderful, one of my good friends. We did a video on his channel where we reacted to like Pride merch, and like places like Target and all these places in America, their Pride merch was just like, first of all, just all awful, but it was like one or two things and the rest was all online. And like it just goes to show that how these companies do not give a shit about us. Like I would love it, like maybe this is selfish, but I would love it if these companies like still funded Pride but weren't so much like me, I must be in the front. But why can't you fund it because you actually give a shit about us?
Absolutely.
That's what you need to do, but you just don't care.
I can't remember who it was, but somebody said to me recently a really good solution to Pride would be to partner each like corporate sponsor with a charity. So this is the Stonewall float, Stonewall in big letters. It's all about the charity organisation supported by HSBC in small letters.
And that's the problem. The actual companies and the people in the parades who actually properly mean something, they're just people walking with banners.
Yeah,
that's it.
They don't have the funding.
They don't have the funding. And these companies go, well, instead of funding these people, we're just going to fund ourselves and be like, hooray, me, Amazon.
Great.
I remember Amazon had a float one year and I was like, why is Amazon here? I get there are LGBT people who are working at Amazon are wonderful. I'm not saying you, but like, why is it Amazon? Why can't it be, Stonewall? Or why can't it be like other companies? Mermaid, sponsored by Amazon at the side, but like they're the charity. Why isn't that happening? And that's what I want to see, and that's what I'd be more intrigued to actually go and watch and see. But no, they just don't give a shit.
Or like not even like a charity. It could also be like, I'm just thinking on the spot here, but it could also be like a cause within the LGBT plus community. So like, this year Amazon, you're going to put your corporate money towards sponsoring a float which is all about the history of HIV and AIDS.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And then you do something really beautiful that is about that important moment in LGBT plus history. And then you can put just supported by Amazon. It can be on there. It's still giving you that. And in a lot of ways, I think it would like work better because it would show
make you
that
look so much better.
So much better. It would show you're a genuine ally, not like, look at me.
Yeah.
Look how great I am.
Yeah. Well, I think is like I don't really care, but like I'm not saying I don't mean to single out Barclays, but the reason I say Barclays
fuck Barclays.
is because they were the ones who would always be right at the front. They were always right at the front. And like the thing is, it became a thing with not just our friend group. I would hear people all the time being like, "Oh, here comes Barclays," and it became
they would get booed. They would get booed as well by the crowd.
It was literally towards the end because they don't do it now. It was like the joke of, "Oh, here comes Barclays."
Yeah.
I just
yeah, absolutely.
They don't give a shit.
I want to talk about Sao Paulo Pride in Brazil, which I went to a few weeks ago. It is the biggest pride in the world.
It looked absolutely bonkers.
It's completely insane. Up to 5 million people participate in the parade every year. Participate in the parade, which I've never seen that many people in my life, and it's the third biggest event on earth. The only two events in the world are like these deeply important religious, spiritual events that happen in the Middle East, which
Yeah.
get like 20 million people or something. After those two, Sao Paulo Pride is the biggest event in the world.
Okay.
So you could argue it's the biggest party in the world. And interestingly, they only have, despite that number of people, they only have about, I don't know exactly, but around 10 floats.
Oh.
And the floats do have a sponsor, but like it's very small. It's on the side of it. It's kind of what I was just suggesting, and I'm only just realizing this now.
Yeah.
Because there was a float dedicated. It just said gay on the side of it, which I thought was really funny. I was like, well, it is
Gay.
Pride, so gay on the side of it. And then there was a float that was dedicated to like the lesbian community. There was a float dedicated to trans people, and then there was a float which was like dedicated to like older LGBT plus people,
Which is very important because young generation can be very bastards to older gay people.
And I don't know if they all had a sponsor, but I do remember like Sephora sponsored one of these. But the Sephora was in tiny little letters, like you could barely even see it. Like they could have actually made it a bit bigger. I wouldn't have criticised them for making it a little bit bigger. Each of the floats was just like playing out really loud music, and it was more about the atmosphere of these millions of people walking in the streets alongside the floats. So, and I think that just goes to show, you know, we're talking about like, oh well, it's hard to do, but okay, but this is the biggest Pride in the world, with up to 5 million people, and they are still managing to not let it become this like corporate thing. Like even I spent like, before it started, I spent about 2 hours at the front of the parade where they were doing like all these speeches about like the importance of community and speaking about like trans rights and, you know, all things like this. And there's a lot of like community led stuff happening, like there was groups walking for like trans kids, stuff like that, and none of that felt corporate. None of that. There was a little bit of corporate happening amongst it, but like you couldn't tell. So I'm like, if they can do it, and sure, maybe there aren't as many like rules and regulations in Brazil compared to maybe like, what examples have we given, New York or London, and I appreciate that, but like at the same time, it's possible.
I just think people don't know how to do it. I just think that a lot of them here are just run by people who don't understand, or they've been running it for too long and they haven't adapted to modern society.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think old people just don't like adapt with the time, and they're kind of just like, what do you mean they don't want to see X, Y, Z at the front of the I don't know. Because we actually marched in the London Parade 2017, and we were with YouTube, and like I feel like they did a good job at being very, I mean, now it's a bit, you know, some of the shifty shit, but like back in 2017 when we still had the YouTube space in London, they actually did quite a lot for our community. I felt like they were relatively...
And what they did in the parade was actually, do you remember what they did? It was actually pretty good, I thought. They had big screens on the side of their float.
This is what yes, sorry, I'll cut you. Yeah, you go.
And they played videos, like videos of British LGBT plus YouTubers. They had like not the whole video, like clips of those videos playing on the side of the float with the YouTubers like handle and username, so that like it was giving visibility to us to millions of people.
Yeah, we were all like told, because we went to a meeting at YouTube and they were like, oh, we want you to all there was like 30 of us, and we were allowed on, because technically it was meant to be like a Google float, but they allowed YouTube to basically have the float for this year. So we were like taking like, I guess we were able to take the limelight, I guess, and actually be like, oh, we're gonna make it about YouTube this year. So it was me and like about 30 other people, and they were we were told all of us submit a video that you would like to be played in the bus. And so the bus was a YouTube bus that we had, but literally both sides of the bus was a massive screen, and they played whatever video we submitted to them all the way down. So like, although it was still sponsored by YouTube and it was a YouTube bus, it was about LGBT YouTubers who were on the platform, and they highlighted British people, which was great, because I think sometimes when things like some other companies are more like, let's just bring the Americans over and get like the big, we're not gonna talk about that, but it was nice that they highlighted like LGBT people from the UK.
Yeah, because they could have quite easily put, at the time it would have been like Tyler Oakley and Troye Sivan and Connor Franta, and they could have put those people on the sides of, which were, you know, astronomically bigger than us. Yeah, but they didn't. They kept it to the British community people, which was nice, and made it about us, which was it was lovely.
And like that, to me, I'm saying that was fine just because it was about us, but like again, that was a way of doing it where it wasn't just like, look at YouTube, Google. It was like, actually no, they made it about the community, which is sad now because we think about how a lot of these companies have gone since then, and like they don't do any of these events anymore.
Do you have another example of a corporate that actually does it well? Because I have one that I think do it tremendously well.
You go, because
So I think Absolute Vodka.
Okay.
I don't even drink anymore, but like I think they are a tremendous example of people who do it right and have been doing it right. They were supporting the LGBT plus community like long before it was cool. I don't want to put a date on it because I'll probably get it wrong.
Yeah.
But I want to say going back to like the 70s,
Okay.
like long before like corporate pride and all of this was a thing. They have been supporting our community. They did like a bottle inspired by a drag queen like decades ago.
Oh, really?
They
Okay.
had like LGBT adverts with like rainbow flags, men kissing. Like it's actually
disgusting.
It's actually like really interesting. If you like just like Google like Absolute Vodka LGBT history or something, you'll see what they've been doing for absolute decades. Absolute decades. And they're continuing to do that now. And when I see them, because also go to gay bars all over the world. Who will you see that has sponsored the bar, that's paid for the wrap to pay the around the gay bar or whatever? It's always Absolute. The the overspill for the beer and all of that. It's all Absolute branded. It's always Absolute. They have like, I think they're amazing, and I trust it. I see it now. I'm like, yeah, of course Absolute are in the parade because they've been with us from the start. They haven't just slapped a rainbow on. And I have no issue with that kind of sponsorship because it's legit.
I don't really know one that I can think of the top of my head.
Well, because there's not many.
No, yeah, and this thing I'd have to really think about that. I'm not really too sure. The thing is, one question that always happens all the time to talk about why we need it, right? Like, I still think Pride is obviously incredibly important. Like, that hetero is awesome parade that they tried to have in America.
And 30 people showed up.
Literally, they like. And I remember years ago as well, they tried to have a straight Pride parade in America as well. Again, it was one of those things. I think like it was like maybe like 40 or 50 people did this like little walk down the street. Like, I'm so. Our community has become very polarized in the past couple of years. I think the whole COVID thing happened, and then everyone became so bored because they had nothing to do. So they first became conspiracy theorists, and suddenly when COVID was like over, then suddenly it was like, what are we going to do now? And then just got radicalized by Andrew Tate and J.K. Rowling, all these people. So like our lives have been very, I guess, scrutinized recently of most recent years, which I think has also made a lot of people. I said this a bit about being angry. Like I'm kind of like, I don't want to do this shit at the moment because I'm just not in the mood for it. I feel a bit angry, but also I'm like, where does it go from here? Because people just seem to be getting more and more insane and intense. J.K. Rowling hasn't shut the fuck up. She's still going on and radicalizing more and more people. Like, I do think, again, it's more of an echo chamber on Twitter. It's not real life, because when they try to have things and events, nobody shows up. So, like, that is very a nice thing to see. But I still just feel like, where's it going to go? Because they're doing enough that they're scaring enough people off from supporting us in general. Like, where does it go from here? Because we still need it. People always go, why are we not a straight pride? Again, can I say one thing? These people who say, why do you not have a straight pride? It's almost like they believe that gay pride has been given to us. Like, no, we haven't just been given.
Right.
No judgment.
Yeah.
So
yes,
this is gay pride for you. Like, we built it. We made it. If you want a straight pride,
go build it.
You could do it. We haven't just been given gay pride from the gods, which I never understood. But also, it's this. The reason when people say, why the hell do you do straight pride or gay pride? It's like, we need it because that's your reaction.
Exactly.
Like, that's your reaction of why we still need it. I might be a bit bitter and I don't really do much. I still think it's very important. I might not get involved as much, but I still think it's very important. And like, until we get to a stage where no one reacts like that, we're still going to need pride.
Absolutely.
And even when everyone is like not reacting like that, I still don't understand the problem with it, because it's like, why are you upset that people are just having a party or having fun? Like, I don't want Pride to always be a protest. I want it to get to a stage where it's literally just like, let's just have fun today.
I kind of see it like, it's just like Christmas or Easter. It's just another celebratory time of year where everything gets decorated. Yeah. And it's just something that makes the year a bit more interesting. And if you're not a queer person, it's just, oh, look, the gays are out. They've got the rainbows out. That's interesting. It makes the high street look a bit interesting for this month. Like, I was recently in San Francisco, and they blast a giant rainbow in the sky. Yeah. It goes for 4 miles, laser beam rainbow. It's incredible. And I made... By the
way, sorry, go follow Calum's Instagram to see all this stuff, because he's been posting a lot of videos and things from it. And that rainbow looked absolutely bonkers.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool. And it got like a lot of attention on Instagram. It got a lot of views. But like so many people angry about it.
Just completely.
And I'm like, why? Why can't you just enjoy?
But the thing is, they're not actually angry about it. They have been told to
be angry about it.
And suddenly they're like, yeah, we
Absolutely.
must hate this. They don't because if that was the case, we would have been seeing this for like 20 plus years. Yes, of course, there were still people who were anti-Pride years ago. But to the stage it is now, this never happened before. Like, you just didn't, I never remember going to Pride 2013, 14.
And people,
it just didn't happen. They have been told to be angry about it. That is...
brainwashed. Brainwashed to be angry about it.
They don't even know what they're angry about. Half of them don't even know what they're angry about. They just shout, and then suddenly they're like proven wrong, and they're like...
And politicians need an enemy.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
So many of them have decided the LGBT community, often the trans community specifically, is going to be that enemy now. So, those rainbow flags, how dare you put a rainbow in the sky? Just enjoy it. Just enjoy the pretty lights.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Just pretend it's in Super Mario Rainbow Road if you need to. Like, just enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't get it. This is what I mean about what is next, because what people do not know what they're angry about anymore. They just see something go so rabid because J.K. Rowling or Andrew Tate or all these other people. There's other polarizing people in the world, but they're the ones that spring to mind. But like, where do we go from here? Because it's just getting worse.
But then, like, you made a good point earlier, was that these people are just like online losers who don't leave their mother's basement. And like, I felt this at like World Pride in Washington DC. I was actually a little bit worried about going because like Trump is in the White House.
Yeah.
World Pride, which is like basically like LGBT people from all over the world every couple years choose one place and everyone goes there.
Yeah.
World Pride happened outside the fucking White House, literally on the front lawn.
Yep.
And it was like, what's going to happen here? And I was like, we even spoke about it. Like,
yeah, I was worried when he said he was going. I was a bit like, I kind of don't want you to go.
And I don't know what I thought was going to happen, but I was imagining like a terrorist incident or like some like aggressiveness or a big fight. Or at the very least, I thought there was going to be loads of counter protesters. Nothing. I didn't see, even at London Pride, you see counter protesters with their Jesus signs and stuff. I didn't even see that. I didn't see, and like Washington DC is an overwhelmingly queer city, but even still, I thought,
if you guys hated it so much like you sound like on the internet, you would have done something.
Yeah, but nobody showed up.
Well, it's the same thing about the whole immigrant thing that happened like last year. Do you remember people were having like riots in the UK because they had like, there was about Tommy Robinson, all that people's shit, and they tried to do it wasn't like a riot, but they tried to do like a gathering here in Brighton, and they were like, we're gonna go to Brighton and blah blah. Literally like 4 people showed up, 4 people, and there's videos of counter protesters literally surrounding them, telling them to go off, and they had to have like so many police protect. It was I'll put a photo here. It was literally like 4 people showed up to do this like anti-immigrant like protests that they were trying to do because Tommy Robinson told them to be angry. You know what I mean? And it's all the same people that say that we're sheep. I'm like, you're being told to be angry at something. Like, and we talked about, so back in like the mid 2000s when Big Brother was like kind of at its height, Nadia, who was a trans woman, won Big Brother in I think it was 2004, and only a couple of years ago, we had a trans contestant on Big Brother, and she got so much hate because she was trans on Big Brother. Whereas, like, 10 years before that, a trans person won and was loved by the public. Like, and what has changed in that time? Yeah. Literally nothing, except for someone has gone, you should be angry at this.
These people
and it's all deflection because the government are, I mean, it's a completely different topic now, but it's all deflection because the government are literally on fire. Like, it's just...
Well, absolutely. And when we were speaking about this the other day, I used the example that I recently interviewed a load of trans people in Malaysia. And in Malaysia, it's illegal to be gay. It's also illegal to cross-dress. So that includes like drag queens, trans people, etc. And the trans people in Malaysia were all saying that they would rather live in Malaysia than the UK or America because at least they're not being like attacked.
Yeah.
It's technically illegal, but they're not actually being arrested. They're not actually being harassed. Yet in the UK and America, where it's legal to be gay, it's legal to be trans people are being targeted and harassed. It's like we're the backwards ones now.
We were literally in like the top 3 most accepting.
We were number one. We were number one in the like IGLA list. I remember what it's called.
And it's one of the most inclusive, like LGBT friendly spots in Europe. And I think we're like number 20 now.
We've dropped so far. I think I don't want to get this wrong, but I think we're like 26th or something.
Is it? It's
from one in the space of a few years. Like less than 10 years. We've
Yeah.
gone from like number 1 to like number 20 something.
And this is the thing, like, there is so many incredibly intense things going on in the world right now that needs real, like, actual action, and people are more concerned about 1%, less than 1% of people using a bathroom. And, like, we just had the bathroom ban here in the UK where they're essentially saying, like, you should use the bathrooms that you were assigned at birth, like sex assigned at birth. And, like, there's some ambiguity one or two things. And it's like, thank God you're focusing on that and not the fact that, like, we're about to enter a recession. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, thank God we're worried about this tiny portion. And, like, I'm not saying trans people don't matter. That's not what I'm saying. But, like, in the grand scheme of, like, what is actually important, whether my friends or someone you don't know takes a piss in a bathroom, who cares? Like, and just because and
it's also done nothing because all the trans people have just continued using the bathroom like normal.
Absolutely.
They're not listening to your stupid fucking rule because it's impossible to police.
Yeah.
And if you want to start policing it, go ahead, because you're going to get riots because like everybody is going to be being harassed over their genitals. Like, good luck making that work. Good luck.
J.K. Rowling said the other day, I can't do the exact quote, but she was saying that we should take photos of people in the bathroom if we think they're trans. Like,
I didn't even.
Like, what are we doing?
J.K. Rowling, shut the fuck up.
Like,
challenge.
what are we doing? What are we? She's become so, and this is what I mean. When we actually deep into it, this is one of the reasons why I'm kind of a little bit over going to Pride, because I'm just not in the mood to do it anymore. Because the world
don't feel proud.
I don't feel it anymore, because I'm just like, everything just seems to hate us right now. And like, yeah, some people, I know it's not bad to hide or whatever. And it's not that I'm scared or like I want to hide, but it's more just like, I'm just not in the mood. I will just go and be like, why? Like, I'm just pissed off with it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of you watching this will probably feel the same, that like you just don't feel that sense of like, let's go and celebrate, because it just feels so shit at the moment. I don't want this to be all doom and gloom, but like,
I agree though. You're right. You're right.
It.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, completely agree with you. Which is actually, again, why it's been actually like so refreshing to see like different countries and things speaking about their pride, because there are other countries, like Thailand is the example. I went to their pride in April, and like they've actually got stuff to celebrate.
And maybe that's the thing. Maybe I'd actually feel less like it. I think because I'm in the UK and this is what it feels like, and I'm sure a lot of people in America, especially because Trump's now in power, feel the same way. Like, maybe if I went more countries around Europe and even South America and stuff, and you know, maybe I would feel differently and be like, oh, this actually feels exciting. But at the moment in the UK, I just don't feel like I don't feel proud. I just don't feel like it, because I'm like, everyone hates us. Like,
so proud to be. It's so hard to be proud in the UK right now. Absolutely, that is tea. And I wonder if that contributed to the how few people I felt there were at London Pride.
Yeah,
yesterday.
probably. I don't know. And this is what I said. Where does it go from here? Like, where is the next? Like, where's the next step for us in Pride? Like, what are we doing? Because I think it's obviously incredibly important still, but unless people calm the down, I don't know. Because again, even though it seems like a small echo chamber on Twitter, they still have enough power that they're literally going to like court and changing laws.
Yeah.
And these are because the people doing it are so wealthy they can do whatever the they want.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know where do we go from here.
I don't know the answer to that either. I feel like maybe your viewers can contribute to that in the comments. Like, where do we go? We do not have the answer.
No.
We do not have the answer.
And until we have some sort of resolution, I don't feel like my view on going to Pride is really going to change.
Which is entirely fair. And I know you are not alone in feeling this.
Yeah.
I've spoken to many other people who feel exactly the same as you.
Well, I won't name it, I don't know, but my friend who was here yesterday feels the exact same thing. He's just like...
So I just don't feel like it anymore. Don't feel it, yeah.
And like, I've always, because you asked me yesterday, we had a little discussion about this beforehand, just we didn't like, you know, ramble over, but you said, is it because you don't feel accepted so much? It's like, it's not that I don't feel accepted, I've never felt out, because like, again, when you think about things that I like to do, like when it comes to music and all that kind of stuff, it's very different than what I guess maybe a stereotype would be, but like, I still enjoyed going to Pride and loving that. I never felt unaccepted, but even then I'm just like, I don't feel right. I don't know, it just feels weird. I feel like we shouldn't end on such a sad note.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I felt like that was a natural ending. That's why I wasn't saying more. What is still good about Pride?
Well, I think it's still, as you said, for young people who just come out, I think even though we live in a tumultuous time, like, still feels very exciting. I think a lot of time as well, a lot of people have it's like that one time where they're able to meet up with their like chosen family. because sometimes like people travel, like especially if you're coming to London. Like for me, I couldn't really afford to come to London very often, so my YouTube friends that I had at the time, especially in the early days, obviously when I moved it was different, but like that was the one time I could afford to come to London, get time, because I was working in Morrison's, get time off work to actually come see them. So I think a lot of young people, probably it's one of those times that they're finally able to like meet up with their online family that they've made from like either YouTube or any other platforms or something, which I think is probably still very important for young people as well.
And I even feel like it almost like often connects me to like my international community of LGBT plus people, because like I go to all these prides and there's always at least somebody I know from somewhere, because that is an interesting thing. I do feel like traveling for pride is becoming more of a thing now, because you know, people are thinking about, where do I want to go on holiday? I want to go to somewhere where it's LGBT friendly. I want to go to somewhere where I can, you know, feel surrounded by community, because we do like to be around our community. So people are going, well, if I'm going to go to Madrid anyway, why don't I go to Madrid during Pride? And it gives it like that elevated thing. So I think that's more of a thing that's happening now. More people are traveling for Pride, which I think is really interesting. And going back to what we were saying about like for like newly out people, it was actually really lovely. A friend of mine, Kirsty, and she's like a plus size travel influencer, and she just came out as a lesbian last year. So she actually has just been to her first, I think she went to 2 actually, but like her first prides at this Pride month just gone, and seeing her like queer joy, like she dressed up in like the colors of the lesbian flag, and like she was there with her like new girlfriend, and like just like celebrating Pride, and like seeing it through her eyes again, like kind of like reminded me of the magic of it. So I just hope we can all get back to that place where we can all like love and enjoy Pride for what it is. But I think we need to like fix the world a little bit first. I think we need to move forwards, stop these fucking awful governments doing what they're doing, and almost like reclaim Pride. Let's get it away from like corporate sponsors. Let's get the fucking government's hooks out of it. Let's get rid of JK Rowling, and then let's all have a gay old time in the streets.
I'm very glad that this year though they kind of banned Labour from marching in any of it.
Good,
because they really us over, especially because that ginger woman, I got her name, but she got ginger hair. She literally was like talking about, I can't remember exactly what it was, but there was a clip of her being like not great, and then like photos of her with Keir Starmer like in the parade like a few years ago, and it was like, what the hell happened in this time?
What happened
that made you said you were allies, and all of a sudden
they completely switched on us like that.
I it's insane to me that, same with Donald Trump. So I've come back to bad things.
I know, I was like, why are you going negative again?
It's because there's so much to say. There's so much things I could talk about. Like Donald Trump literally was talking. I saw a video of him the other day in 2016. He was talking about trans people using bathrooms, being like, it's literally not an issue. And they were like, well, if Caitlyn Jenner would use the female bathrooms, he was like, yeah, just don't. Literally not an issue. There's more important things to worry about.
That's what Donald Trump said.
Literally, there's a video of him saying it's not AI, it's real. And now and it's the same with like other people in the UK as well, talking about that kind of shit. Theresa May was literally, there was a thing of her talking about doing the self-identify and how it's fine, and now suddenly the Tory party were just like, we need to kill them all. Like it's so like, I don't know what I mean. It's just I just
I'm not laughing because that's funny. I'm laughing because it's so fucking preposterous.
The insanity of it all. It's just so stupid. But no, I do think Pride is very important. But I do think you're right. We need to fix them up before we can really have a good time. But I want to just, any young people, I mean, I think if you're a bit older, like you might have similar things, but like any young people watching, please don't become like
bitter and jaded like us.
I feel like some of it is, I do think some of it is age though. Some of it is like, I've been to so many prides in London, and I have been to other ones as well. Like it does lose a bit of its spark. So some of the what I've been saying today and not going as much has also because of I've just done it enough.
And as well, like with each year that passes, we carry more of the political weight of it. We learn more about the ins and outs of it. We peek behind the curtain a little bit more. We grow to understand it. We carry all of that heaviness on our shoulders. Of like what this means, what this signifies. You know, the first time you go, like Barclays come by with rainbow flags, you're like, yeah. But and then with each year that passes, you realise they're more and more evil. So it just. But like, there is so much magic there. And like, I love all the little moments. You know what has really gotten me over the past year going to Prides? I can think of 3 moments. Do not cut me off. I can think of 3 moments over the past year that have really, really resonated special with me. They were all in America, in West Hollywood, in Miami, and just now in San Francisco. Is seeing much older women who perhaps don't look like the kind of people who would be supportive,
Yeah.
holding up signs for their transgender children, saying "proud mother of a transgender child."
Yeah.
I've seen that. Well, I've seen it many times, but there's 3 really real moments that have really burned in my mind of like, that's what Pride is.
Yeah.
Those magical moments, that's what Pride is.
Yeah, I agree. And I think they're still happening. I'm a bit old man.
Barclays, that's the end.
Jaded.
Barclays, J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, and hope. I'm not going to say that.
I want my £50 actually.
I love
Barclays.
sorry, Barclays. I love
Barclays.
What I want to say though is, if you are young, please know that it's not. I'm not annoyed at like the gay community or pissed off at gay people or queer people.
None of this is anger at the queer community.
No, absolutely
yeah, no.
not. So please know that there is still so much love and support for you guys out there. I just choose to show it in different ways now, and there's a lot of people that also still show it different ways. Like, I hope that my channel and Calum's like posts he's been doing like help you at least feel comfortable with who you are. And although I don't partake necessarily so much at least UK Pride stuff, I still support you guys and love you guys and want you guys to feel safe and secure. I just think my way of doing it is differently now. So just don't think it's a thing of like, I just hate Pride, I hate gay people, I hate being around all these people. Like, it's not that's not the issue. It's the corporate side and all the shit, the political stuff's going on at the moment that's sort of ruined my want.
Made us bitter.
Yeah.
Made us bitter.
So, on that note, I'm going to go...
We're going to have sweets.
Yeah, we're going to go and have some sweets. I've got some... They're tropical squishies.
Yeah.
I ate a couple yesterday, but I hid them.
From me.
From you, yeah. We also did just do another video on my main channel. I'm not sure which is going up first, but on my main channel we did some more unhinged TikTok madness. So go to see that. I don't know if it's out before this or afterwards, but and also like we've decided that whenever Calum comes over, instead of making 2 main channel videos, we'll do this again. So if there's any other topics you want us to kind of just like chat about,
to be grumpy old gays about.
Yeah, the grumpy gays, that's the name of
Gays.
the grumpy gays. Yeah, tell me what you think down below and what you would like us to talk about in the future, and we'll try and do this more often. It's kind of, we're not like trying to make a new podcast. This isn't like White Men with Podcast, but like,
it's just like, why not, girls?
Just chatting.
We sit on the sofa and talk about this stuff anyway, so we may as well do it in front of a camera.
Yeah. What are your feelings? Tell us everything. And I do apologise for being so doom and gloom. I didn't mean to make this so doom and gloom, but unfortunately, it's just the world at the moment, and we can't just. The problem is, this is the thing. If we pretend it's not happening, nothing's going to change. So unless we're going to actually sit and talk about it and face the reality of what's going on, nothing will change. So
yeah. So this video is actually going to change the world. Congratulations, us. You're welcome.
Well, it might help more people to be like, yeah, we should do something about it.
Let's rally against the man.
Yeah.
And J.K. Rowling.
Let's go.
And Barclays.
Doxed. Anyway, thanks for watching today's video. Please hit the like button, subscribe. All of my links and Calum's links are down below. So make sure you go follow Calum's. Oh, thank you, by the way, guys. It wasn't obviously just you guys, it was other things as well, but you helped Calum push over the 100k.
Oh, I hit 100k.
Yeah, so thank you.
Now help me get to 101k.
So thanks to everyone who did go follow him on our last video, and you guys really enjoyed that, which is why we're doing more. So yeah, head over to main channel, head over to channel Calum stuff, and we'll see you very soon. And yeah, be safe, stay proud, and
be fabulous, be gay, be everything you want to be, and don't let any bitch tell you what you want to do, because you are
gaping.